poor sweetheart, and tried to wear him with his belt.
Okay. We are on. We are live. Ben, this is the voiceover actor interview 1.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Ben! Ben!
That was the Troy Baker.
And that was the Allie Hillis. Hey, we just did the introductions.
Well, bye now.
Without even trying.
I didn't even get to say anything. That was awesome.
That was a total accident.
That was an accident just there. We just did that.
I know.
Wouldn't it be the first time that I've had people introduce or intro the show without me saying anything? So
It would be the first time when... Never mind.
Don't talk personal.
Okay.
It's going to be on the interweb.
So what do you want to talk about, Greg?
What's up, Greg?
So I wanted to know what my listeners might not recognize you guys' voices right off the bat.
What?
Nobody
You're
recognizes
joking.
my voice. Nobody.
Are you serious?
Nobody.
You're lying.
Dead
I'd recognize
serious.
you in an elevator. I'd recognize you in a bathroom.
Nolan
except that
North,
those are
who
usually-
plays Nate Drake in Uncharted, said, he goes, I pride myself on being able to pick people out, like in performances, like I can never do it with you. And I was like, is that a good thing?
Of course it is.
I don't know if it is. It could be bad, because I mean, if you listen to Nolan, I can hear Nolan order a pizza and know that it was Nate Drake.
Right.
But then he does stuff like Penguin and in
Right.
Arkham City, you never know that was Nolan. So I don't know.
I didn't until I IMDb'd it.
And that
You
was so
cheater.
genius. Everyone was like, "Oh, Nolan North is a one-trick pony. He can only do this." And then he does, Portal, and he does Call of Duty: Black Ops, the zombie stuff. And I mean, nobody knew that was him. And then he does Penguin. This is becoming a podcast about Nolan.
Yep. So
Well,
Okay with
let's
that.
get into you guys for
All
a
right,
minute.
all right.
So, Troy, Troy, right?
Yes.
Okay. First, I thought it was
May
Trey,
I
and then I
call
was
you
like, wait,
Troy?
that's
Yes.
wrong.
Well, Bob.
What would my listeners recognize you in?
It really depends on how vast and how imprisoned your audience is. But this year's been really cool. There's been some games that have come out. First of all, Final Fantasy 13, of course, is how I know Allie Hillis.
Mm-hmm.
I played Snow Villiers in there, and the upcoming 13-2 as well. A lot of RPGers, some JRPGers will also know me from Tales of Vesperia. I played Yuri Lowell in that. I played Kanji Tatsumi in Persona 4. And then most recently I was the boss character in Saints Row the Third.
Oh, wow.
I played Two-Face in Batman Arkham City.
Wow.
And I've got Booker DeWitt in the new Bioshock Infinite, as well as Joel in The Last of Us coming.
Amazing, sir.
So Troy Baker is in every game coming out
Pretty
next
much.
year.
I have a lot of pictures of people
No.
that they don't want to surface.
When you say the boss in Saints Row the Third, I just beat that game. Are you talking about the Luchador boss?
No. That was Rick Wasserman who played Killbane.
Okay.
You've got 4 different. This is what I love about Saints Row. It makes Grand Theft Auto. It's to me, Saints Row is what Grand Theft Auto always wanted to be, and came really close with Red Dead, which I thought was the best inventory they
I
had.
absolutely love Saints Row. A lot of my friends say that it's too ridiculous, too over the top.
It is.
But that's what I love about it.
They owned it, and Grand Theft Auto to me kind of danced this line between we want to be taken seriously, but we still want to knock hookers over and pick them up in our back of our trunk. Saints Row to me, the story is actually really, really good. If you presented it in a dramatic form, it's genius. The writing, Steve Jarvis and Drew Helms did an amazing job with the game, but then the gameplay and everything else is just so over the top, which is what people want in a sandbox game like that anyway. They want to be over the top.
Right.
They want to drive over old ladies and see them go careening over their hoods.
That's what I want to do.
But no, you've got 5 different choices of boss characters, because it's completely customizable, and that's one of the things that's great about Saints Row,
Right.
is that the entire game is customizable, from your cars to your socks, everything is. But literally, they don't let you do socks anymore.
I was going to say socks.
In the last game you could. People were up in arms because they kind of fine-tuned a little bit of the customization to make up for the gameplay. They wanted better gameplay, and everyone was pissing and moaning because you couldn't customize your socks.
Yeah, well.
But you've got myself, who plays...
Priorities.
Someone's always going to complain about
It's
something.
true. You're always going to find something to gripe about. Male Boss 1 is me, so if you choose the default character in Saints Row 3, you're going to play as me. I'm the player character. Laura Bailey plays the female. Robin Atkin Downs plays the British male one, or British male boss. Steve Bloom, I think, did an amazing job as the zombie boss, which is fantastic. Tara Platt did the Russian. So, I mean, you've got basically 5 different ways that you can play the game, and the dialogue is different for each boss.
I thought you were saying boss, but you're saying bots. No, you're saying boss?
Boss, because that's what.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because
everybody
they
like
take
Pierce
over.
calls you boss. You know,
They take over Saints. Yeah. I don't know why I was drawing a blank on that. So
No worries.
technically, since I did default, I was playing with your voice.
You're playing with me. Burt fucking Reynolds. Those are my favorite lines.
That part.
Fucking Reynolds.
That part was by far one of the funniest parts in the game.
I'm a huge fan, sir. It was that, and what's great is we didn't know if for sure if Burt Reynolds was going to be on board for the game, so we actually recorded any scene that mentioned Mayor Reynolds 2 different ways. And so I remember the day that they finally came in, and I was like, "We getting both ways?" He goes, "Just get Mayor Reynolds." We're like, "Yeah, we got Burt Reynolds." So
that's epic.
That and a fucking tiger. So those are my favorite lines.
So what about you, Allie?
Allie's done a lot.
What have you done?
I haven't done
Allie
nearly
just
as
does video
much.
games. She just does the video games. She does Mass Effect.
I'm still just a
She does
noob.
the Final Fantasy.
I'm just a noob. I'm
Alright.
still working my way up. Mr. Troy Baker, he done all the good stuff. Yeah, you like being called Mister?
I do.
I'm from the South. Everybody's Mister to me.
Mrs. You're nasty. Miss Nasty.
Oh well, I think the only games I can talk about in 2012 so far are Mass Effect and my recurring roles. Leonard in Mass Effect 3,
Wow.
and then Lightning. And,
I have a lot of friends who absolutely love that character.
yeah, me
That's a fan
too.
fave.
I love Liara.
Even
They're
if
my
it's
two
a
favorite.
non-fan
They're
fave.
my two favorite characters. So,
I unfortunately haven't played Final Fantasy 13.
nah.
No, but I know who Snow and Lightning are. So
I do believe this interview is over. How
Because they
about you?
plastered our faces or bodies all over everything. Any stationary thing when
Yes.
Final Fantasy 13 came out.
That was
they put it
crazy.
on.
I was driving down one of the main thoroughfares in Los Angeles, and I saw Lightning about, I don't
It was
know,
on the side of the
18,
building.
18 stories high.
There was a homeless person that was asleep, and they actually put a poster over him because he had been there.
They
for,
did.
For a
He'd
little
been
bit
there
long.
so long. That, yeah.
Anything stationary had something to do with Final
Tis
Fantasy.
true.
That's gotta be
Tis
that's
true.
gotta be a lot of fun to just basically like walk into a store, because as a voice actor, I've always thought this would be interesting to walk into a place where there's a bunch of people who are super excited about your game, but
Like
have no
GameStop?
idea. But have no idea what you look like.
It's like you know the best secret on the planet. You sort of walk around in GameStop with a little smirk on your face, like, ha ha.
What's funny though is if you try to out yourself, because you don't want to be that guy. But like if Brad Pitt walked into a Blockbuster, it would be mayhem.
Yeah, exactly.
But anybody could walk. Anybody that's notable.
We can be secretive about it, which is kind
In
of
a game,
cool.
walk into a GameStop, it's like that's me. They go, huh.
They don't.
No
they actually
reaction at
don't
all.
believe you if you. Yeah, they
These are
actually
the kind of
don't
texts
believe
that I
you.
get.
They think you're screwing around. That's awful.
That's fantastic.
I'm not going to tell you what kind of text he just got.
That's some good podcasting right there.
Apparently, Troy Baker is
Spider-Man
very
whipping
popular.
someone from behind.
Yikes! Yikes! No, it is kind of cool though. That's a really good point. It's kind of cool.
Well, as I was pointing
to
out
walk
to
around, especially at E3 or at
Right.
You get anonymity.
Yeah, to have anonymity, because when you work in on-camera jobs and people know who you are and recognize you, it's a little bit
have you guys done any on-camera work before?
She's done a
little
lot.
bit. Yeah,
I've done some.
Well, so have you.
Yeah,
we both have.
I've done. The
We
thing
both
about
have.
that is that with TV and film or stuff, like we'll be on planes or whatever, and we see people that we work with, and if it's something that they've done that I don't like, you feel impelled to go, "Hey, I know you. You suck.
You were terrible in that, but I'm not going to tell you.
Hate you. Pleasure to meet you, though. She's a sweet person.
Really awesome to me. You were terrible in that.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
it's nice to have. It's nice when you're. I did a film once that ended up. A couple of them ended up airing on airlines, on airplanes
airlines.
during Christmas. And so when you're traveling over the holidays and your
Hi.
film is up on the little TV, then it makes for a very interesting Christmas. I was on a cruise and we're in Portugal, and somebody walks up to me and says, "Oh, I saw a movie." When they're bothering you in a bikini and then wanting to take pictures. I mean,
little
not
weird.
that I don't look good in a bikini. Come
a
on,
little weird.
Come on.
Wouldn't it be funny
But
though
it's a
if,
little
like,
weird. It's nice to have the anonymity of when you're a voice actor. You can just be proud and excited, and nobody bothers you.
But if they're playing that movie on the plane,
It's weird.
and you're in coach,
It's
when you're sitting
weird.
next to somebody, they're like, "You're not doing too good."
It's weird.
Not doing very well.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, no, I bought this ticket, not production. Thank you very much. I'm going to buy Coach.
I
that's
choose
true.
to be back here.
I choose.
I made the joke. I'm
smart. I don't
I'm
waste
a
my
travel
money.
brat. I'm a total travel brat. And my
Emphasis on brat.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
My fiance and I were flying. And we
Fiance!
Hey, we just got engaged.
Yay, he just got engaged.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Troy.
She's
Woo!
way cooler than me. But
That is true.
Because
One of my best friends.
I fly a lot, and I fly always on American, and so I've got like the elite status, whatever. And so a lot of times I just get the free upgrade and the first class.
American Airlines.
And so you're welcome. So what sucks though is that I've gotten to the point now to where I fly first class so much that if I don't get the upgrade, I feel like I'm being punished.
He takes it for granted.
I'm like, what? Why am I
He
not?
does.
Did I do something wrong? They're like, no, sir, you're just with everybody else. You know, all the other normal people. That's where you're going to be.
I have to say, and thank you conventions, because it helps us earn miles to...
Hell yeah. I'm a mile whore.
I know. I'm gold, but I think you're like double platinum, triple...
I'm platinum, and I think this year hopefully I'll make executive platinum.
What?
Speaking of conventions, what's
Sorry, we're like getting way off topic.
Now we're talking about airline
about
miles.
donuts. While we're on the subject.
Okay, back to you.
I was going to say, speaking of
conventions.
conventions, what would you guys say is your craziest moment at a convention, either with a fan or without a fan?
Right now.
Yeah, this is
This is it.
unbelievably
We're in
weird.
it.
Yeah.
I
If you would
don't know.
please
This
put
is-
your pants back on, it would make everything
I can't.
much more
That's the
comfortable.
problem. That's
This
what
is
makes
how I
interviews
talk.
so...
My process.
I mean, if it makes you more comfortable
Like, you
to
know
be
they
shirt,
s-
no pants, I totally understand.
You know how they say, like, imagine your audience in underwear? Well, I just take
I
off
just
my...
do it.
You know what?
I'm
Thank
gonna do the
you.
job. I'm gonna do the
Actually,
job for you.
I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to make us more comfortable, and we
Right.
really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Weirdest moment at a convention? Do you have one? You've been to so many. Troy has been to. Troy is a convention whore. You really are.
I am.
You love it.
I think that one of the most awkward moments of any convention to me is when you walk in and it's like a room full of 200 people, and it's like for some reason they schedule like 8:45 in the morning.
Oh.
You know, and
Your
pretty
brain's
much,
not on yet.
No, well, not only that, but all the people that are really in the room, they just couldn't get a room in the hotel, so they just crashed in one of the rooms that just happens to be the one you're doing your panel in.
Oh no!
And
Are
so
you
you're
serious?
like waking them up as you come in, and everyone feels like they're in calculus class. It's so they're like sitting there just staring at you. Those are my most awkward moments. You're like, hey guys,
And you're like, I've got energy. Yes, I do. I've got energy. Oh,
let's talk about me.
yeah.
It's so awkward.
That is awkward. That's awkward. I had a great moment just now at this convention, Sac Anime.
Oh, wow.
I think it was. I haven't been to very many conventions. I want to say this is my third, maybe
Third or fourth.
third or fourth. The first one being Sac Anime, so that was cool to come back to the Sac,
Back in the sack.
back in the Sac with Troy Baker.
Ew.
So yeah. I'm starting to recognize people, which is cool. That's a really cool feeling.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd imagine.
hey Jessica. Like certain people walk up and all of a sudden their name pops into your brain, even though you signed a few autographs over a few conventions and met a few people, and that was a really cool experience to start recognizing people and remembering their energy and their excitement.
There was the next question I'm going to ask you. I'm going to prelude with a little story. I've always told myself that if I ever met somebody that I idolized or that it was really important to me in the entertainment industry, I would compose myself and keep it cool and calm.
Unlike right now.
Unlike right now,
Right.
right?
Do you talk to yourself often?
All the time. That's how I keep my sanity.
I gotcha.
Nice.
But so
No, I met Matt Groening at Comic-Con in like
I
2008.
would lose my shit.
Well, I tried really hard.
I'd lose my shit.
Still, a sentence came out of my mouth that was the most awkward thing for him, possibly.
Let's hear
You Simpsons!
Take your pants off.
Sorry.
Oh, wait. You kind of helped raise me.
Oh wow.
I think he just
I
kind
would
of
take that as a compliment, wouldn't you?
I would wonder if actually probably Matt Groening's response would have been like, so that's where all those checks were going. You're welcome. Tuition, you got it okay? Got your school books taken, Greg?
Oh wow. That's
I don't care who it is. You're always going to have that moment where I literally bumped into Leonard Nimoy at the Star Trek premiere.
Oof.
And I'm 6'3", and I had to look up at him. The guy's just this.
Is he that tall?
Yeah, he's a monolith. He's
Wow.
just this
Wow.
tall, massive man. And I couldn't say. I was like, excuse me. It's all right. Live long and prosper. Sorry. So yeah, you always have your awkward moments.
Have you guys ever had anyone act that way towards you?
Yeah.
Yes.
And which is always weird because you're like, dude, I'm a nerd too. There's probably stuff that people have done here that is way cooler than anything I've ever done or will do. There's
sure.
people that hand us like amazing artwork.
I know, we got some today. It's
You have no idea.
Wow.
You have no idea.
And they
The
were
person
fun.
that walks in front of me like, hey, I just drew this. What's your name? Pablo Picasso. All right. That's the caliber that
I
we're
know.
dealing with.
We got to keep some of this stuff.
I know.
It's
Just sell
interesting
that
too,
shit.
the difference between people recognizing you or the fans that come to the conventions. Gaming fans are very different than TV and film fans, because TV and film fans will sometimes walk up to you, sometimes say hi, can we get a picture, but they're fairly relaxed, you know, they're fairly relaxed.
Right.
But gaming fans are so excited. They're so passionate about the characters.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is, you know, TV and film fans are more or less voyeurs. They're just watching something play out on a screen and they're enjoying your performance, you know, whatever. But gamers are actually becoming the characters, so to speak, or you know,
think
kind of
you're right.
living out
No,
these RPGs. You know, they're
And
living
they
it out. And forgive me, Troy is a big gamer, and I am still learning. I'm a noob. But it's almost like I equate games to people who don't understand as the pick your own ending books, where you're sort of like
Right.
you're choosing what's going on in your world in your life.
Right,
In
it's
this
like-
game,
it's
and you're
like-
becoming the characters. So yeah, I think that
Well,
gaming
I
fans.
completely agree, because in the regards of like with Saints Row,
Yeah.
I spent 8 to 10 hours, I don't remember exactly, with his voice.
Right.
Right.
The entire time.
It has
laughing.
a different effect than just watching someone in
I
film or.
think with TV and film, people when they want an autograph or whatever, they want something of novelty. They want
Yeah.
a souvenir.
Yeah.
When someone recognizes you from the work, there's like you're talking about, you spent 8 to 10 hours playing as me or playing as Allie. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, Final Fantasy, oh my god.
there's
hours.
Hours.
there's a connection there, and people here want to establish the connection from the surreal to the real. You know, there's
It's more
bridging
intimate.
the gap. It's way more.
It's way more intimate. And you know what? The performance as well, I don't know if I can speak for both of us, I think so. When you're behind the mic, I feel like it's a much more intimate acting experience too.
It really is.
Because also, you can't hide anything behind the mic. It's so weird, but on camera, even though people can see you and hear you, somehow you're able to hide more. Like if you're sick, if you don't feel well, whatever.
I've said this for years, and
Can't hide
and my
anything.
friends can attest to it, because I talk obsessively about voice actors. Voice acting is a much harder task to me than
It is.
regular acting,
Sure.
only because you have to emote with your voice.
Yeah.
It's a
Absolutely.
way harder job than with your face.
You have one tool to sell everything, and you don't have. This is like why, you know, somebody asked me. I was doing an interview for Escapist magazine, and they said, you know, what was your first response when you were going to get the role of Booker DeWitt for Bioshock? And I was like, I was freaked out, because how can you take an established franchise with a first-person character that never speaks? And
Right.
the golden rule of FPSs is you don't voice the main character. And then not only we're gonna give a voice to the main character, but we're gonna make it hugely character driven. That's scary as hell, because
Right.
you open yourself up to a lot of ridicule, and for people totally not buying into it, because you don't have the face or the eyes to help sell the emotion or intention. Or, you know, if there's a dramatic pause, you can read that on somebody's face, even if it's, you know, in animation. But you don't have that with the voice. How do I, and especially when you have a character that's very flat and very, not flat, but stoic.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sell that with, so...
Well, you do it pretty well.
I'm hoping so. I mean, I think the stuff that we're getting on Bioshock is really good. I think it's very, very solid.
I'm really excited about that game.
I am too.
Knowing that you're the character that I'm controlling is super exciting for me right now. Like, I can't wait to get my hands on it even more.
Thank you. I want to make sure that people feel like they are Booker DeWitt, not that they're playing as me as Booker DeWitt. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why Ken's got this phrase, just drain the swamp. I need you to take all those awesome ideas that you have and throw them out the window, because we've got to keep this as neutral and as empty of a vessel as we can, because you want that player to feel like they are slipping into that skin. And
Almost like you're the framework. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if I inject too much of myself into it, then it's no longer you. It becomes this third-person thing. You just have a first-person perspective.
Right.
Yeah. I think I had similar experience with Lightning when we developed her in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, keeping her more stoic and less, you know, and then every once in a while we'd have a movie where we could
go crazy.
talk really about who she is and what she's about.
Did you kind of feel the same way as Troy when they gave you the role of Lightning?
Feel the same way
I
about
think
the
it was
character.
kind of nervous, and like I have to, like, characters are going to be playing as me for the entire.
You know what? When I auditioned for Lightning, it was we do a lot when we audition for voiceover. For those of you guys that don't, the way that we audition is that they just send us tons of material and we just read and reread and reread. So I think I used 5 lines to audition for Lightning. And then it was nothing. It was nothing. And we auditioned so much that just as part of the nature of the game is you can't think too much about it. And if someone asked me the next day, what did you audition for yesterday? I'd say I don't remember. No idea. So we just put no importance on auditions because basically if we book it, it's bonus time. And if we don't, we just try to forget it. Don't even try to forget about it. We just do. So booking it was really cool, and I had to literally look back through my auditions and go, wait, what was that game? What was that game? What was that character? And I'll be honest with you, I know I've said this in other interviews, but I didn't realize that I was the main character of Final Fantasy 13 until we'd almost finished the game.
Are you serious?
I had no idea. I had no idea. I knew that I was a large... I did. I thought Snow was. I thought Snow was.
Did you know what my process for that audition was? They had already cast the game. Japan wasn't liking what they were getting on some of the characters. So Jack, I was originally cast as Sid, which I thought was awesome because I was going to be a Sid in a Final Fantasy. There's always a Sid. And
that'd have been really exciting.
It would have been really... I was like, hey, that's awesome. And then it wasn't working out. And so Jack Fletcher, the director, whom we both just love madly, said, I got the guy. I know who this should be. This should be this guy. You should have listened to me the first time. This is what we're going to go with. And so he brought me in to do the E3 demo, which is used to be the trailer.
Right.
And so he brought me in and he told me the whole story. And he went to bat for me. Before I knew anything about it, he went to bat for me with Japan and put his ass on the line. And so as I walked into the booth, he goes, one last thing. Don't fuck it up.
That sounds just like him, by the way. If you'd like to know what our voice director sounds like for Final Fantasy, that's what he sounds like.
If you want to think about the pathos of
he's got kind of like this...
well, he's Juilliard trained. And he directs plays at NYU, so he's classically
He's not pretentious.
trained.
He's just incredibly smart. But he's got like this, God, who am I thinking of? Gore Vidal kind of phrase, like the way that he speaks is just very... Anyway.
It's a very good impression.
I love Jack.
Very good impression.
Jack. Anyway,
but
what else?
we a lot of times we don't know what the characters are until we get there in the booth the very first day of recording.
Yep.
And some directors will give you, hey, the game is actually called something instead of purple. They give us fake names for
Yellow.
the games and
Sorry, you're going
Yellow. Oh, anyway, we cannot talk about that. NGA people.
Can't talk about Yellow.
Yes, Troy and I almost slipped up.
That's fine. That's fine.
A lot of times we don't know about the characters until we get there. We're given a fake name for the game and a fake name for the character. So a lot of times we don't know who we're playing. We don't know what world we're in. All we can do is rely on the director to sort of draw out the world for me. So it was so simple them drawing out 13 for me. Final Fantasy. Thanks a lot. It was a little complicated.
I had no idea that I was going to be Two-Face in Arkham City until I walked into the studio. I didn't even audition for it. The Colette Cinnamon, who was the director for it, just stunt cast me. And I walked in, and they said that you were going to be doing Nightwing and some incidentals. I was like, all right, awesome, I'm Nightwing. Walked in, I was like, so this is Nightwing and a couple other characters. Like, yeah, one of those is Harvey Dent, the other's Two-Face. I was like, oh my god! So you got 30 seconds to like get over
figure it out.
Well, not even figure it out, but like get over your nerd self and be able to actually work.
See, I'm really lucky because sometimes it's good not to. I know I'm learning more and more about gaming. I've only been in it for a couple of years, so I'm learning more and more. Outside of playing when I was really young, I went through about 10 years of my life with not only no gaming system, but no television.
But if you walked into a session and they were like, okay, so this whole thing we've been teasing you about, you're going to play Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's totally different. I totally freak out. Yeah,
I was trying to think of Catwoman.
Well, I totally freaked out with Emma Frost.
Emma
Which,
Frost
by the
is
way,
really
it was
cool.
very nice working
What?
with you, sir.
Oh yeah.
You
On,
played when did you play Emma Frost?
X-Men anime recently, and I got to work with Mr. Troy Baker in that as well.
and this is probably a little dated, but tonight on G4 airs the premiere of Blade, the Marvel anime series.
Ooh.
For the listeners, we're recording this on Friday. This will probably be up on Wednesday, so it's a week ago. Tune in next Friday.
Next Friday for the next episode. Harold Perrineau from Lost and Matrix plays Blade. J.B. Blanc plays Deacon Frost, and I get to play Van Helsing.
Woohoo!
And it's a really, really
That's
cool show. This Marvel's reboots of a lot of these franchises have been amazing. The X-Men one was great. Iron Man was cool. It was a totally different spin on it. But the Blade series, I love that they really kind of went back to the original graphic novel for the character design for Blade, and it looks really, really cool. It's incredibly dark.
I like the Iron Man and Wolverine one, but I haven't watched the X-Men one, and I'm excited for the Blade one. So.
The X-Men one is awesome. The Marvel, Marvel has kind of sometimes dipped their fingers in good pools and bad pools, But I really like what they're doing with the anime series, because at first I thought it was kind of a bastardization of it, but it really is. I mean, not only if you're just a fan of anime, but if you're a fan of Marvel period, the Marvel universe, it's amazing. And what they did with the shows, and to take Blade, which was kind of such a out of left field, the Iron Man and X-Men if they do Avengers or whatever they're doing, all that makes sense.
Yeah.
But to pull Blade into that was really, really cool, and they did a great job.
But Blade's such an awesome character, and they kind of ignore him now in the comics.
Yeah. Well, movie franchise kind of.
That's true.
They bled that thing to death. Pardon the pun.
No, it's okay. I'm just noticing some amazing
There's some
cosplay
great-
outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Holy
half
cow.
of my job here at Sac Anime is to get cosplay interviews.
Oh,
wow.
Well, glasses are now dry, so I will ask
so
one last
sad.
question for you.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Now I'm gonna ask you guys a favor.
Yeah.
Can you read a line as a character that my audience would recognize
Sure.
from anything that you guys want?
I got one.
Go for it.
Well, I don't mean it personally, but humans are tools. I'm not gonna die for one of them.
That's awesome. Literally goosebumps.
I'm gonna do a conglomeration. You ready?
Lord.
All right.
Get bent! Steel guard! A fucking tiger! And on that note,
Thank you guys very, very much.
thank you, Greg.